Let me tell you about three people who have nothing in common: a banker in Toronto, a teacher in Ohio, and a retired engineer in Vancouver. All three lost everything to someone they trusted. All three defended the person who took it, and all three said the same exact sentence when interviewed: "Nobody forced me." Hold that phrase, we'll come back to it. They just knew they did. They were following patterns, scripts, things they'd stumbled onto by accident. And here's the part that made no sense: the victims knew the scripts too. The Toronto banker had a degree in psychology. She'd studied manipulation tactics. But when it happened to her, she didn't see it, not for 18 months. Now, let's return to Portland. Remember the woman who turned herself in? Here's what she told the detectives: "I brought her groceries, that's all." She said it like it explained everything. The detective asked how groceries led to a house. She looked confused. "I didn't ask for the house, she wanted to give it to me." And technically that was true. So the detective asked a different question. "Did the neighbor ask you to bring groceries?" "No, but she needed help." "Did she ask for help?" "She didn't have to ask." The detective wrote something down, then asked one more question. "What else did you do for her?" The woman listed 14 small things: fixing a cabinet, watering plants, making phone calls, things the neighbor never requested. And that's when the detective realized something. But first, you need to understand what happened in a college cafeteria in 1974. A psychologist ran a simple experiment. He had students rate artwork. Halfway through, his assistant left and came back with 2 sodas, giving one to the student, saying, "I grabbed one for you." The student didn't ask for it. Many said they weren't thirsty, but they took it anyway. 20 minutes later, the assistant asked if they'd buy raffle tickets. Students who got the free soda bought twice as many tickets as those who didn't. They spent an average of $2.50. The soda cost 50 cents. When asked why, most students said they wanted to support the cause. None of them mentioned the soda. The psychologist ran the experiment 40 more times. Same result. Then he changed one thing. He had the assistant say, "They were giving these away, so I grabbed you one." Suddenly, students bought fewer tickets. The soda was still free, but now it wasn't a favor. It was just a soda. And here's the key detail. The students didn't realize their behavior had changed. The part of their brain creating the obligation, they had no access to it. The woman in Toronto lost $89,000 over 18 months to someone she met at a coffee shop. Here's how it started. The friend paid for her coffee, just once. The banker said thank you and offered to pay next time, but next time the friend paid again. Then she started doing other small, unsolicited things, picking up dry cleaning, texting to check if she'd eaten. Every single thing created a tiny sense of debt. 3 months in, the friend mentioned she was short on rent. The banker gave her $800. The friend paid her back. Then she needed $1,200, paid back. Then $2,000, didn't pay back. When the banker asked about it, the friend cried, and the banker ended up comforting her. 6 months later, she was $89,000 in debt. Her psychologist later told investigators she wasn't stupid. She was trapped by her own consistency. Human brains are wired for reciprocity. It's how societies function. But there's a trick. Your brain doesn't distinguish between solicited and unsolicited favors. Someone can do something for you that you never asked for, that you didn't even want, and your brain still registers a debt. Even stranger, the size of the debt doesn't match the size of the favor. One study found people who received a 25-cent favor were willing to return a $5 favor, a 20-to-1 ratio, and they couldn't explain why. Now think about the Portland woman, bringing groceries, fixing cabinets, making phone calls, all unsolicited, all creating tiny debts. After 6 months, the neighbor's brain had registered a debt so large, a house felt reasonable. She wasn't being irrational. She was being perfectly rational within a system she couldn't see. Back in Portland, the detective asked the woman one final question. Did you know what you were doing? She looked genuinely confused. I was helping someone who needed help. But you also needed something from her. I didn't need anything. She offered. After you'd been helping her for 6 months. Then she said something the detective wrote down word for word. She wanted to do something for me. I gave her that opportunity. The detective realized this woman truly believed she'd done nothing wrong. She created a debt, isolated the neighbor, and then simply allowed her to repay it. In her mind, she was the good guy. Legally, he couldn't prove she wasn't. The case went to trial. The neighbor testified for the defense, saying she gave the house freely. The jury was deadlocked. The case was dismissed. The neighbor died 8 months later, still defending the woman who took her house. Now, we need to talk about something uncomfortable. You've done this. Maybe not to this extreme, but you've used reciprocity. You've given an unsolicited favor because you knew it would make someone more likely to help you later. You've bought someone a drink before asking them for something. That colleague who always brings you coffee, you probably help them more than others. The charity that sent you free address labels, you're statistically more likely to donate. None of this is evil. It's just how humans work. But once you understand the mechanism, you can amplify it, and the person on the receiving end will never know the difference between genuine kindness and strategic manipulation. There's another pattern that shows up in almost every case: isolation. Not the dramatic kind. This is softer. Your family doesn't really understand you. Your friends are holding you back. Over time, the victim starts to pull away from other people, and they do it themselves. Nobody forced them. So in their mind, it was their choice. And once you've made a choice, you defend it. Psychologists call this self-generated compliance. The victim becomes their own jailer. The Portland neighbor's daughter called 17 times in the final 3 months. She never picked up. The woman had convinced her that her daughter only cared about the inheritance, and the neighbor believed it because she had to defend her choice not to answer. Here's what psychologists have concluded. Free will isn't as free as we think. Your decisions are shaped by invisible forces like reciprocity and consistency. They're automatic responses. If someone understands these mechanisms, they can amplify them, and the person on the receiving end will never know the difference between genuine kindness and strategic manipulation. So let's come back to where we started. A woman turns herself in for a crime she doesn't think she committed. A neighbor loses everything while insisting she gave it freely. The law says coercion requires force or deception. But what if you can rewire someone's reality using nothing but kindness? What if the debt becomes so real in their mind that giving you everything feels like the only rational choice? Here's the question that has no answer. If someone manipulates you into doing something you genuinely believed was your own decision, who's actually responsible? The person who learned to press the buttons, or the part of you that wanted to believe you didn't have buttons to press? Think about that next time someone does you a favor you didn't ask for.